Hoo, bikers! Welcome to Escape Channel, old school biker culture. Have you ever been shocked seeing big motorcycle clubs splitting apart? Or have you seen on the internet those terrible things that members or ex-members do, exposing the reputation of a great club? Today we're going to talk a bit about the problems that cause divisions within a motorcycle club. These are recurring patterns, and in this video, you'll be able to understand what really happens.
Escape! Old school biker culture!
One of the characteristics of a well-established motorcycle club, which isn't necessarily a good thing, is that, over time, it runs the risk of losing focus on the actions, philosophies, and opinions that define it. In other words, too many thinking heads can generate conflicting opinions, and the club's essence can be lost. But what's the root of this problem, which really happens? Is it simply the club's growth that causes it, with no way to avoid it? Yes, the club's growth does cause problems. However, that doesn't mean that differences in opinion must divide the club. On the contrary, diversity of thought should make it stronger. After all, two heads think better than one. So why do most clubs end up splitting, and in some cases, falling apart or losing their identity and relevance? The biggest reason: inflated egos and weak leadership. Naturally, the ego of a motorcycle club member is already something unique. This environment, in fact, demands that the pride for the colors be, to some extent, heightened in their attitude. It's part of what comes with having affection for the vest, the history, and the patches it carries. This subculture values every symbol, every meaning, every gesture that shows how good it feels to be among brothers who are considered the best among all others. It's similar to the feeling of a devoted fan, pride and belonging, and that's something very positive. However, everything in excess becomes poison, and here lies the core of the problem behind club divisions or breakups. When leadership is weak and cannot channel divergent forces toward the common good, those forces collide. One member wants to stand out more than the other. The relevance of one's position is neglected in favor of personal recognition. In other words, one guy will always be the one who does this, another will be the one who does that, and so on. Then comparisons arise like, he does more of this than the other does of that. Favoritism, omission, and patriarchal attitudes destroy the club. If a member's ego isn't massaged, the club, which once meant everything to him, becomes irrelevant. Then he starts focusing on other things that will give him more attention. This kind of individual often ends up dragging along others who are also looking for a place in the sun, ignoring the principles and standards they agreed to uphold when they joined the so-called brotherhood. And then the disaster is done. The club fragments. The care everyone must take when maintaining a large club is to adopt strict criteria for its growth. Control must never be lost, and purges should be frequent. However, even more important than expulsion is control at the entrance. Teaching values and demanding proof of commitment are essential. As the club grows, the entry process should become more selective. It doesn't matter how industrial a club company's marketing may be. It doesn't matter handing out vests in exchange for fame or recognition. In fact, restriction has always been a synonym for quality. The harder it is to earn something, the greater its value. That's what it's all about. Finally, the club's leadership must promote collective thinking. It must be the force that unites differences and brings out the best in each member. Also, it must be firm when it comes time to apply expulsion or necessary correction. The leader's justice must always be the justice of all within the club. What about you? What do you think about those club companies that treat the club like a business counter? What do you think causes the most division in a motorcycle club? Leave your comment below. I'll read them all. Everything here is made by bikers for bikers. And if you liked the video, give us a hand by subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell icon to see more. Thanks, and see you in the next video. Ride safe.